All right. What's up, everyone? So, what we're going to do today is pretty much a continuation of yesterday. So, yesterday I was making sweet potatoes, right? And then what I mentioned yesterday was about batch cooking. Even this morning, if you missed morning's live, I talked about batch cooking and how to prep like certain types of foods like onions, bell peppers, things like that. And what I showed y'all yesterday was the black beans that has soak overnight. So it's pretty much ready to go. Okay. And the reason you want to soak your black beans is pretty simple. Uh, Black beans has has like if you deal with like a lot of bloating and gas from eating black beans, you want to soak it because I believe it has damn, I can't think of the word right now. I'm like doing a brain fart, but I think it's phthalates or something like that. And and if you want to break that down, you want to soak them overnight, and that breaks it down so it doesn't put so much tension into your digestive system. Okay, so that's why we're going to go ahead and rinse that out real quick and just pour out the water. And like I said, we're going to use the pressure cooker for this because a lot of people are intimidated using the pressure cooker. So I have the pressure cooker right here. We're boiling the water. Here's the lid. And we already got the black beans ready to go. It's pretty soft. Now, the cool thing about pressure cookers is that if you soak your beans overnight, you only need to cook them for 8 minutes. Like that's how powerful the pressure cookers are. Okay. But it does push in a lot of flavor into the beans. So first thing we're going to do is go ahead, since it's about to boil, it's raising to boil. We're going to go ahead and add all our black beans in there already. Okay. And then to get the flavors in there, and this recipe is actually on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. Just put in Corinne Sutton black beans. I'm making the same exact recipe that we're doing here. To be honest with you, I actually had to go back and look at it, like at the video before I went on the live, to just make sure I'm doing everything right. But what we're going to do is first you need some bay leaves. All right. So put about 3 bay leaves in there. That's going to add a lot of flavor into the black beans. And I like getting like pretty big sizes. If they're small, I might use 4. Okay. And then we're going to add some oregano. Now, when it comes to the oregano, you could do about like a tablespoon. Okay. So we're just going to use the remaining of that. And then we're going to use some salt. Now, the salt I like to use, like I mentioned in the previous, let me bring this down up a little bit. What I mentioned in the previous video, like with the sweet potatoes, I use Himalayan, right? But the problem with Himalayan salt is that it doesn't have a lot of iodine and minerals in it. Like we all remembered when Himalayan salt was like the biggest hype. It was like trying to say it was better than iodine salt and all this stuff. And then we ended. And then a couple of years later, we find out that Himalayan salt actually sucks, right? So the salt that you want to use is the real salt. You'll find real salt in a lot of like high brand, like electrolytes. And you can get this. It's actually made in America. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add about a little bit of that. So I'll just pour some in there just like that. Okay. And then we're going to also add in some veggies. All right. So the veggies we're going to add in there is first some onions. And this is some of the benefits that I talk about when it comes to batch cooking, because say this morning I went ahead and pre-chopped my onions, and I know how I cook. Onions, garlic, bell peppers are usually my like go-to. So I'm always going to have this pretty much on tap, you could say, like ready to go or prepped. So we're going to add some onions in there, and then we're going to also add some garlic. Now, with the garlic, I rather use real garlic versus the powder. I have powder. The only reason I have like the powder is for backup if I run out of garlic. So we're just going to use the remaining amount of garlic that's here, and we're just going to go ahead and prep that. And the reason I like crushing the garlic first before chopping is because if you see here, you'll see some residue. And that residue is like natural oil from the garlic. So by crushing it, you're releasing that oil. So it's going to give you more flavor into the food. Okay. And it's already boiling. So we need to kind of hurry up because we don't want the water to evaporate. Okay, that's what's going to actually pressurize the food. So we don't want it to boil too fast. So let's put down the heat a little bit until we get this chopped up. Let's put on high. Stir this up a little bit. Get that seasoning all mixed in. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and lock it. All right. So that's it. That's how you use it. All right. Very simple. And then what's going to do, what the pressure cooker is happening is like all that steam that you saw while it was boiling is going to start building up, right? And then it starts to pressurize. And this is a strong pot and it's an old pot, right? So it's going to start building up that pressure. And that's what makes the food taste better, especially when you do beans. Like if you want like that restaurant style soft beans, I've never got that restaurant style by just boiling it. I always got it when I did a pressure cooker. And then what you could do too, if you want it like that creamy, you could like take a little bit out when it's done pressurizing. You could take a little bit out and then smash it and then throw it right back into the beans and mix it, and then you have more like that creamier black bean, if you know what I'm talking about, like almost like a Cuban style, right? Let's see, is that an induction stovetop? I don't know. I don't know what induction means. So I just know it's an electric one. Let's see. What do you mean about frozen vegetables? I don't know. I never talked about frozen vegetables. What do you mean about frozen vegetables? Tell them how to plant better. All right, we're getting some weird comments right now. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and wait for this. Once it starts like actually pressurizing like this, we hear it. Now I'm going to put on the timer. So like I said, it only takes about 8 minutes. All right. And it's going to make that noise for the whole period. All right. So while that's happening, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, wash off my, get my knife clean and my, throw things away. So just give me a second while this cooks real quick. And if y'all have any questions, this is the best time to ask those questions. The best time. Especially the ones where it's talking about like the frozen veggies and stuff. Like, I can answer it. I just need to know more context. But here's a quick story. I used to be like
I was always intimidated using a pressure cooker because it's like, I don't know, it's just something about it. It's scary, you know, it's a little scary. Even now, it's a little scary, but once you start using it more, you realize like it's one of the best things you'll ever invest in, especially if you cook like beans and stuff or stews. Like it's one of the best things you can invest in. It makes food taste 10 times better. Because what I was always afraid about it is like for it like pressurizing and blowing up. But this usually only happens if you like if I like try opening it whilst like doing all of that. That's when that shit can like pop in your face and you would get injured like that. So but I'm going to show you a way to depressurize it and show you how to do it. Use it safely. Okay. So there's a safe way you want to use these pressure cookers. See if there's any questions. No questions? All right, cool. So since there's no questions, I'm just going to go ahead and start prepping my meal, and I'll go ahead and talk y'all through that. So as you know, I like fast meal prep hacks. And as you already know as well, which I talked about this morning, is that I like having a lot of my protein during the day. So for breakfast, if you missed the breakfast live, I did the high protein pancakes with the breakfast burger bowl, right? And then for lunch, I had like what did I have? Oh, I had daring chicken with some nuts. Pause. It was like cashews, some pumpkin seeds, and Brazil nuts, right? So I have like a small bowl of that with the daring chicken. And then for dinner, we're going to have some chickpeas and some black beans because, as I mentioned before, I don't have a lot of chickpeas for the calories and the macros I'm eating. So I have this right here ready to go. And those chickpeas, I boiled them, but that's the last time I'm boiling them. I was a little lazy when I made it. We're going to do the sweet potatoes of what we made yesterday. And then the last thing we're going to do is going to be the black rice. And I can't even show y'all how to make the black rice, but I don't think that vlog is going to be, that live is going to be very interesting because the black rice is pretty simple. There's nothing to it. I just rinse them, throw it in the rice cooker, and the rice cooker does it all. You know, you just add a little bit of water, salt, you press the button, and then when it's done, the button the machine turns off when the rice is done. It's very, very easy. So if you're someone who wants perfect rice, make it perfectly every single time, I just say get a rice cooker. It's the best thing you can do. So first thing, like I mentioned before, when you meal prep like this, only thing you got to do is just measure out your food, and that's it. Okay, so that's the benefit of this. So I usually do about like a cup of black rice, and I prefer black rice because when you eat foods that are black, right, it literally makes your skin not crack. So like they say, black don't crack, right? So when you eat foods that are black, it literally prevents the skin from being cracked. And I'm telling you this because it has something in it called ISO. It's called what is it called? What's the terminology of the black stuff? I can't think of the terminology. It's because like carrots has beta carotene, but then the black color has something. I forgot the name. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, definitely put it in the comments. But it's very high in antioxidants, right? So with the antioxidants, it's going to help you like age slower. All right. So this is why you want this. It's going to prevent a lot of oxidative stress within the body. So that's why I get I prefer black rice. If I'm eating out or something like that, you're not going to find black rice anywhere. You're going to find either brown or white, which they're just as good, but they're good rice. But if you want like high quality rice, you want to get the black rice. All right. Sometimes it's called black. Sometimes it's called purple. Isolate? No, not isolate. It's not called isolate. It's called something else. I want to put about 300 grams of sweet potatoes. All right. And then I'm going to use the remaining of the black beans. I usually do about 200, I think it's about like 225 grams of beans, right? So I'm going to use the remaining of this because this is pretty much just half of that. And then the only thing I need to do while that's cooking, only 50 seconds left, I'm just going to throw this in the microwave. So imagine if you're making a meal prep like this, right? The meal prep will be just as fast. You know? Let's see. Oh, am I cooking? We're cooking some black beans. That's what we're cooking. We just came on. It's almost done. We had it on in the pressure cooker for about 8 minutes. Okay, because that's as long as you need it. It's just 8 minutes, and that's it. So we're cooking some black beans. We already soaked them overnight from yesterday, and then right now we're just talking about batch cooking, and that's it. And talking about the benefits of black beans and black rice and stuff like that. But I forgot the name of the word that actually makes it healthy. All right. So the black beans should be ready. Okay. So here's the thing about pressure cookers. There's no way to know if it's ready. You need to know the time. So I've done this about 1,000 times, making black beans and soaking them. So again, you don't have to cook them that long. You have to trust the process. If it's soaked overnight, 8 minutes is more than enough. So the only thing we're going to do is go ahead and turn off the heat. Okay. And then we're going to wait. We have to wait for it to depressurize a little bit because right now it's like going crazy, right? So as you see, we could do that. One way we could help speed up the process is just taking it off the burner, right? So as you see, but is it ready? Is it safe yet? No, it's not. Okay. Just because it stops making the sound doesn't mean that it's safe. There's still a lot of pressure in here because once I add it back to the heat, you're going to see this start boiling up again within a few seconds. See what I'm saying? So there's a lot of heat in there. So what you want to do is take it off. Now, what some people do is they'll probably pour it underneath like water and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of pouring it underneath water because when a pot is hot, this whole pot's very hot, and you pour water, if that water is too cold, that can crack the steel and again explode in your face. Okay, so I'm not a fan of pouring water on it. I'm a fan of just depressurizing it. So to depressure, you can just move it. See, with your finger. This is why that's plastic. Just do that. Push to the side, and then just hold it, and you're gonna get all the pressure out, just like this. And this takes time. You see how long I've been holding it? Already been holding for a few seconds. That's how you know, like, that's how much pressure is in here. That's why it cooks so fast. And you want to press that shit down until literally there's no steam. I don't play around with these things, man. I'll hold it until I hear nothing. You know, I don't care if it's like a little bit of hiss and stuff. I'm very safe around this. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Okay. All right. And then another thing you want to look at is this little red cap was up. Oop, it's a little hot. That little, you see the little red dot? I don't know if you see it too much, but that's up too. So once that goes down, you hear a little click. It's like click. It made a small little click. Then it's ready. And then just to double check, just move that around. Okay. There's no sound, zero sound. So it's safe to open. Okay. And then when you open it slowly. All right. Don't just like ramp it open. Open up pretty slow. Then lift like that. And when you lift away from you. Okay. Never lift and put your face or lift up, because when that steam could hit you in the face and it could burn you. Okay. So always lift away when you do that. And then if we look in here, this is what we got. See? It's already ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and stir this up. And look at that. That is some delicious. Oops, I can't hold this. There's some delicious black beans right here. Look at that. So what I'm going to do, just to add a little bit of creaminess to it. Oh man, what should I use? I really don't feel like using. I don't feel like bringing out the Vitamix. Maybe I could just use do it old school. I want to do old school because I don't feel like bringing up the Vitamix and doing all of that shit, man. I'm just going to pour a little bit of black beans in here in a bowl. And I'm going to just like kind of smash it, like kind of like make like almost like a stew and throw it back in there. Because what I'm doing here, by doing that, it's like you can make the sauce thicker. Okay. Now you could use a Vitamix, right? And blend it, but I just don't feel like I'm really trying to prevent like cleaning a bunch of shit. so that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna use a fork and smash it. It's not going to take that long doing it manually. And this way I had to do anyways before Vitamixes and blenders and all that stuff. Sometimes I just get lazy. And I'm like, man, I don't want to clean all that crap. And you just need a little bit. You don't need a lot of black beans to do this. And this what makes it like more like that Cuban style. Okay. Some people call it Cuban. Some people say it's Brazilian. So more Latin American style. But this is what I do. And then we're going to go ahead and pour it back. And just mix it into the black beans. And then if we look now, look at the black beans now. See, so now it looks more creamier. See, that's how you get that creamy taste. All it is just smashed up black beans, and then they just add it back. No milk required, no soy milk, nothing. It's just, I just took the black beans, smashed them, and then that's it. And to be honest with you, the black beans that I'm having right now, it is going to taste good, But to be honest with you, it's going to taste better the next day because remember, this was cooked on high heat. So you remember this morning, if you were here this morning, I talked about like if you use if you cook with low heat, you get more flavor. That's the thing with foods like black beans, because we're using a pressure cooker, like, yeah, it's going to cook it fast, but because it was pressure cooked and that pressure cook is very high heat, it's a lot of high heat. I'm not going to really taste a lot of the flavor. It's just going to be like, it's going to taste good, but it's not going to be as flavorful because it was used with so much heat. So the best thing you want to do to get more flavor, and this is why it's good to batch it, is like, okay, I'm going to eat some of the beans today. I know it's not going to taste better than the next day, because the next day you give it some time to cool. The food has some time for that seasoning to really get into the beans more, and then so don't be surprised, like the next day it tastes better. It's almost like pizza. You ever had like, why do you think cold pizza tastes better sometimes than when you get freshly hot pizza? Because freshly hot pizza is done in 425 degrees. Once you have it like kind of like there's certain foods that's like that. You haven't let it cool a little bit, it tastes better. Or if you have that cold pizza overnight when all the flavor is able to like really sink into everything, that's when it's fire. You know what I mean? So beans are like that. It's one of those foods. When you just let it sit, cool, have it overnight, it's going to taste better than the next day. You know what I'm saying? Do you eat black beans for protein? Well, I eat black beans because it has protein, not because I'm not eating it for protein. I'm eating it because it has protein. So foods that I eat for protein is going to be like protein shakes, my breakfast bowl, like the seitan, that has seitan in it, like tofu scramble, like the tofu. Those are foods that I eat for protein. But beans is more of a carbohydrate, but it also has protein in it. So for example, 1 cup of black beans has about 20 grams of protein, but it also has 40 grams of carbs. So it makes it more of a carb source because of that. So if you're trying to get more protein into your diet, yeah, you could combine black beans into a high protein diet to help you get more protein, of course. And black beans is a great source of protein because it does have a lot of amino acids that helps with building muscle. So having that combination of rice and beans in your plate is going to make it more. You're getting like this plate right here is an all carb meal, but the protein that's in it makes it more complete because it has all the amino acids, especially when you mix rice and beans. You're getting the full complete amino acid profile, which are the building blocks to build muscle. Does that make sense? But what the foods I get, so this actually helps me get more protein into my diet, but it's not my primary protein source. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. You would have been done already, and it came out very smooth. Yeah, you would have been done already, and it came out very. Oh yeah, yeah. It's yeah. I would yeah exactly. I would have been done. Yeah, if I wasn't talking on here, it would have been done, right? But let's go ahead and put in the rest of the beans since. And usually I have like a nickname when I use like the black beans, because I have like this nickname for this Buddha bowl. So this is like a normal Buddha bowl. So we got about 225 grams of black beans with the combination of chickpeas, the black rice, and sweet potatoes. So usually with this Buddha bowl, I would call this a regular one. But if I had purple sweet potatoes with the black rice with black beans, I would call it my black Buddha bowl, which is also on YouTube. I made a dish like that because everything's just black. It looks pretty gnarly when you look at it. It looks pretty gnarly because you're just like, damn, everything in that plate is black. It looks wicked, right? But it tastes good and super healthy for you. Super duper healthy for you. Let's see.
Someone asks, quarantine inside job investigating 1,000 days vegan here, nothing coming in. What do you mean nothing coming in? I don't understand. What do you mean nothing coming in? Like you can't get any food or something? Let me before I make this play, I really want, it just bothers me. I don't want to keep y'all hanging because I don't know the word. I hate when I forget a word because it's really important to know about like things like when it comes to black foods. I really want y'all to know this. So let me look it up real quick. 'Cause I did like a whole presentation about it before. So I'm looking back at the presentation because I'm like, I know I wrote it somewhere. Let's see. But financially, okay, I see what you mean. So you're trying to look for like maybe like cheap vegan food. So hey, this is it, man. This is it. Like if you don't got finances coming in, then you want to do foods like this, like Whole Foods. Like when you're doing Whole Foods and you're trying to be vegan, that's the best way to keep the price low because it's just produce. Like everything in the produce section is going to be cheap, and depending how tight you are, then you can do it conventional. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't get into like, because some people get into this fear about conventional and organic and about things that sprayed. But I tell people straight up, I'm like, if you're struggling financially, the last thing you need to be scared about is conventional food. You need to be more scared about paying your fucking bills. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, don't worry about the conventional foods and the GMO and the sprays, because you got worse things going on right now in your life. And the reason I'm saying this, not to make fun of anybody, but I've been there. Like when I first started the whole plant-based journey, I did it when I was in college. So I was broke like a joke. I had zero money. I was only getting money from the military because I served, and you get the GI Bill to pay for college, stuff like that. But the first year, I didn't work. And then when I started working, I couldn't do like a real full-time job. I had to do like a part-time job because I was full-time in school. And that's the only way I could get all the benefits from my military pension for the schooling. So I had to live on a very, very tight budget. And it's a little different when you're older going to school versus when you're 17, 18 going into school. Because when you're 17 and 18 going into college or university, you don't have bills. You know what I'm saying? You don't already have a lifestyle already built up. But when you go in when you're in your like mid 20s, like I did, I already had bills. I had a car bill, cell phone, I had rent, I had a lot of shit going on already. And I already built up a particular lifestyle of comfortability I like to live. And it's kind of hard to keep that up while you're going to school at the same time. And you're single, it was tough. So, but when I went plant-based, I had to figure out ways to be cheap. So I was buying things from the can, I was buying frozen foods and stuff like that. But even with the knowledge that I have now, like if you just go to the produce section, buy things conventional, and you make foods like how I'm making it right now, best way to keep everything, keep your finances low, and you get a lot of healthy foods. And I would say it was good that I actually went plant-based during those times, because it's actually the best way to learn how to eat the healthiest, because the healthiest ways of eating is when you cook it like how I'm cooking it. Like you're making everything from scratch, your rice, your beans, your sweet potatoes. You're not buying nothing in the package, nothing already pre-made, nothing frozen, like if you're really trying to like keep everything to like tight, that's how I had to do it. You know what I mean? And most of the foods I was eating, nothing processed. It was all whole foods, plant-based. Like that was the only way. And when it comes to like high protein foods, if you need more protein, tofu's cheap. Tofu's about like $3 per pack. You get about like $3-4 per pack, get about 70 grams of protein. So it's really cheap. And then the seitan, that's the only thing that's going to be expensive. but you can make your own seitan. So if you made your own seitan, it's a little bit of work, but if you buy some Vital Wheat gluten, that's one way you can get another source of protein very, very, very easy and fast. And then that's it. Okay. So if you kept it like that, that's one way you can really be plant-based and keep it on a budget. Okay. I'm a great chef. Hey, thanks a lot. I truly appreciate it. A little bit off topic, but how do you usually cook seitan? That's a great question. To be honest with you, I never really attempted to make it. I made a few attempts and I failed. So I kind of gave up on it, but I will make a seitan recipe because I say it all the time. But what I've done is I found this company. It's one of my friends who actually made this company. It's called Nourish Life Foods. And this is called Plant Muscle Mix. And this is beef. So this is supposed to be like a shortcut in making seitan. So what they did was already have all the seasonings already pre-made into it. And then they have the directions to, make it for you. So I'm going to try off with this first and see how that works out. And then, and then if it comes out really good, if I can perfect this, then I'm definitely going to be pushing this a little bit more frequently. Okay. But you could follow them on Instagram. It's called Nourish Life Foods. But I'm letting y'all know this, and I'm very real when I start talking about new products and stuff like that. This is only made it. All they did is it's the Vital Wheat gluten already there. They just go ahead and add all the seasonings, so you don't have to worry about all that stuff. But again, let me experiment with this, and then once if I perfect it, then I will show you how to make it, and then that'll give me more confidence of making my own seitan. Okay, but I'll get back with you with that. I mean, hopefully that answers your question, but that's the reality. It's just like that's why I buy the seitan from Upton's, because it's already pre-made. They perfected the texture, and when it comes to texture and stuff, it's like you need to know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying, to get it good. If not, it's gonna the meat's gonna it's not gonna taste good. It's gonna taste like very spongy, right? And I don't like a spongy meat that much. I want it to have more of a meatier texture, okay, not a spongy texture. So that's why I don't want to like push nothing out yet until I perfect it, because you really want to perfect this. Let's see. All right. So let's go ahead and finish this off. Okay. Y'all can still put in some questions if y'all want to, but let's go ahead and finish this off. So I'm getting hungry as well. And it's getting close to it's already 6:30. So let's do this. All right. So actually, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I have to wash this meal prep container real quick. So just give me a second. So what we're going to do is store everything, okay? And you want to get the big meal prep containers. They're very useful for storing batches of food. And now I'm going. I still haven't forgotten. I want to see what that word is. Kind of like that makes all black foods really good. All right. So let's go ahead. Let me show y'all. All right. So we're just going to take the black beans that we have. All right. So that's good to go. Go ahead and store this. And then the last thing we're going to do, and that's it. I'm pretty much done with my meal. And then I'm going to go ahead and get ready to eat. But let me see if I can find this this food, this name that I was talking about. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I found it. So, okay, so purple, I found it. So purple and blue foods has something called athnocyanin. Okay, that's the name. It's athnocyanin. So athnocyanin, it helps protects and heals your cells from radical damage and lifestyle diseases. The color does protect vegetables from sunlight damage, cold temperatures, and other stressors. It's an antioxidant. It's antioxidative, support healthy urinary tract, prevents hypertension, liver disorder, kidney stones, and the common cold. So that's something to think about. So when you're eating all those black foods, right? Like I said, black don't crack, right? It's not going to crack your skin, but it also have all those other benefits. So again, it's going to help from the sun. It's going to, if you have a UTI, it's going to help with that or prevent from that. If you have like hypertension, it's going to help with hypertension. Any type of liver problems is going to help with that. Kidney stone issues is going to help with that. And then also help prevent the cold. So it's really good for your immune system so you don't get sick. And to be honest with you, one of the reasons why I have never gotten sick. You know, I think for the past 2 or 3 years, I haven't gotten sick because I eat super healthy like this and I try to incorporate foods that are black. It's like beets. That's why you see me use beets a lot in my juices. Okay. And it's one of my favorite foods. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and let everyone go. Let me just check, make sure there's any more questions. There's no more questions. So with that said, thank you for chiming in. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. And again, if you want to see the recipes, you could find it on my YouTube channel. Just type in Black Beans Corinne Sutton. You'll see the whole entire recipe. It's literally a minute long, but we have all the details in the context right then and there. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a good day. Peace.